is that? Hey, I'm back. It's been a really long time. I feel like I'm so sorry. I may mute the live stream bit because I'm still coughing. And I'm like almost completely well right now. I mean, like I'm perfectly well. It's just ever since I got COVID in 2020, I think, or was it 2021? Like my coughs were incredibly bad, and like I'll just cough like non-stop. I'll cough non-stop like that, but like times 100 per minute. And then ever since then, whenever I fall sick with a cough, my body just like keeps coughing for like a month. I think I fell sick around 5th October, which is, let me see, I'm kind of like losing my bearings right now because I've been working so hard on the video edit, and like I've been working every single day, including weekends, including public holidays, and I haven't really been working like this before. It's not sustainable, but I felt like I really have to do it because, I mean, for one thing, I've been video edit. This is like my first time doing a video edit for something, and I'm not going to disclose what it's going to be about yet because I want it to be a surprise for you guys. But it's my first time doing video edit. I'm having like a lot of fun doing the video edit, which I guess is also part of the reason why I can sustain doing work since 5th October, like every single day for like at least 10 hours a day. That's just like how much work there is. I mean, part of it is also like when you're doing things for the first time, so many hours are spent on like oh my god, what did I just click, why is this happening, and then you have to like look up on tutorials, and then you try to look up but then you can't find the exact problem that you're facing, so like hours just go by like that. And also kind of like things like learning how to use, so I learned how to use planner trackers, and I'm using DaVinci Resolve to do my edit. And like just for context, I used to be a VFX artist. I know how to do like plate recon, how to do tracking, rotoscope and all that, but like yeah, I'm not really sure if it's because I'm using the free version of DaVinci, but I felt like in some sense Nuke was, and like I don't really know how much of it is that I have about maybe 7+ years of experience with Nuke, using Nuke as a compositing tool, and some like in-company software, like in-house software to do rotoscoping. But yeah, like in some sense, like they feel more intuitive to use. And I don't really know whether it's because like, oh, if you get DaVinci premium version, that it will be more like user-friendly in some sense. Because one of the issues I have was doing planner tracker for, like, there's a difference between doing a tracker for a still image. That means like if you have, let's say, if you have, let me just do this. Oh my god, it's so bright. Sorry, the setup is like not super optimal, but I was thinking that I have to go quite soon, and like the more I spend on the setup, the more the less time I have to do the stream and all that. But I feel like it's so annoying. Kind of looked up on like how some people develop like a really sensitive, like there's some nerve sensitivity in the throat that gets like, that becomes oversensitized after COVID, I guess. And like I feel like that's what I'm experiencing, because I don't really have anything to cough out anything, but like it just feels so itchy. But luckily, oh my, I was about to say like luckily the coughs are not coming up that much, but then I just coughed. It's really annoying. I think part of it is also just like the intense working on the video edit, and like I feel like I have to do it because like I want to move on onto doing the paint, like the paint adjustments that I want to do for the renders before I bring it to print it out to like to sell it at my booth at Singapore Comic Con, which is in 7 to 8 December. So like, I mean, I was also thinking like maybe I should be 3D printing. But as the days goes by, I mean the weeks goes by with the video edit, I kind of like set like my priority with the video edit. And yeah, like I don't think I have the time to think about 3D printing for these. So yeah, but like I don't really know how long I'll need to take to do the paint for this, the painting touch-ups and all that, because I haven't done it before. Like so many things that I've been doing is like I haven't done it before. So yeah, a lot of new things, which means that I have like zero idea of like how long it will take. But like even with the video edit, I kind of thought that like even though I was doing it for the first time, I kind of thought maybe I should be working on it for only 3 weeks, I guess. But then like the length of the video doubled. Like I think initially it was like 12 minutes, and now it's close to 20 minutes. And but like I'm incredibly happy with how everything looks. It just needs some touch up. Like it needs audio fixing. There's like some, because like first time video editing, I have no idea how to do audio stuff. So I'm kind of guessing like, okay, maybe optimistically for balancing out like all the video, all the sound effects and all that, realistically, it's like, I mean, I don't really want to think about the realistic option, which I feel like maybe is 3 days, but I think I'll just do what I can in 1 day. And then there'll be like minor fixes where like I have all the footage in right now. So everything is in terms of like, I don't really know what all these jargons are, but I mean, when you're like watching the video, like all the footage, all the shots are already in. So like all the recordings I need to do and all that stuff, they're all in. I just need to, there's like 1 or 2 that I'll need to re-record to do some fixes. Or like I will need to kind of like overlay stuff over stuff. Like I don't really want to spoil it, so I'll just put it like that. So maybe that will be ideally 1 day too. And then I've been test uploading on YouTube to like do all the checks and stuff. And I feel like the thing that stands out the most is that the audio feels a bit like either a bit compressed, or like because my balancing is not good throughout the whole 20 minutes. So like something that I learned today is if there's like one part of the video which is like a bit too loud, YouTube will like do a overall kind of like a volume down on the whole video. And like initially I thought there was like a compression thing, like it will compress the audio, but then I learned that it's just like an overall gain slider thing. So at least that feels a bit more like a relief for me, because I kind of thought like oh my god, like I need to figure out like what is artifacting my audio. But if it's just like an overall gain, I think that is something more kind of like something that I can deal with as like a noob for audio stuff. And then Soichi, kind of reminds me like the first few weeks when I was like doing the video edit, I was just like coughing nonstop in that whole 2 weeks as I was staring at DaVinci Resolve. It was so torturous. Like it's kind of weird, but like whenever you fall, I hope that my cough is not like too loud or anything. I'm really sorry if it is, because I haven't fallen sick in maybe a year, I think. And like, let me make sure that, yeah, I haven't fallen sick in a year. So like I'm not really sure like whether or not I may sound different or whatnot, because like I've been abusing my throat for so long by like coughing so much. But yeah, I'll probably have to end the video at 5, I guess. And I really hope that I can get something done. My throat is so itchy. And like, I wasn't sure if I want to live stream this, but like, you know what, maybe I should take a I'm gonna take this. At least it will numb the itchiness a bit. While like I let it take its effect. I've been using this Procreate macro keypad for nomad sculpt. Oh my god. I kind of expected to like start coughing during live stream, but it's like so torturous. Then I thought it would be. I've been using this for nomad sculpt, and I think I haven't been using this. This is like for Procreate. I haven't been using this for Procreate. So I'm going to be slow with it. hope it's visible. No, black is more visible. Not sure like how many of you tuning in. And before like okay, go on, just want to say that surprisingly I miss doing live streams. That's why I was like, oh, maybe I should do this live stream before I release the video and all that, so that I'll get to experience the live stream before the video is released. But yeah, I miss you guys. I kind of miss like just doing like in some sense things that I'm more familiar with in a way. I mean, Procreate I'm not really that familiar with it yet, or like with painting I'm not really that familiar yet, but at least I've done these things before. I've not done audio stuff before, so like I was getting really frustrated last week because I felt like the video upload tasks that I was doing, like they were just not working out, because there'll be some sound effects that I want to kind of like show through, but like for some reason it's I don't hear it on the upload. So yeah, like there are so many unknowns with audio because I didn't go through any audio stuff when like through school or like through work. The things that I've been doing or the things I've been learning or working on has always just been on like video footage without sound, or like still images and all that, or like sculpting. So yeah, like in some sense like I'm happy that right now, after how many weeks has it been? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, it's been exactly 4 weeks since I started working on the edit. But okay, it's like helping a little bit. I feel like my throat is a bit more calm right now, and every time I say that I'm like digging my own grave. It's so annoying. Like sometimes I will be talking to my boyfriend and then I'll be like, I want to say something, but then instead like a cough comes out. It's incredibly annoying. But yeah, it's nice to be back, and it's nice to finally have like kind of what was that? Like I've been really stressed about the edit, like on and off in the past 4 weeks, because like it felt like it just wouldn't be finished. And in some sense, like I wanted it to be finished before November hits, but like now I know like it's quite unrealistic, and I think I've been doing well with like all the 10 plus hours of work every day, and I think like I've done the best I can for for like where I am right now, like how much like video editing skills I have and all that stuff. I think I wasn't sure like how slow I was with it, but I think I am at a good pace now that I am 4 weeks in and like all the footage done, and like in some sense, I mean it kind of feels a little bit like this render where like this is to me like acceptable to just like send it out for print, and like what I'm adding on right now is like the kind of like the cherry on top, or like just to make like all the make everything have a good continuity so that it doesn't really like snap at you. So and like I really hope that the coughing is fine. It really sucks to have this kind. Like I know that it sucks a lot more to have what's that thing called, like long COVID, where you have intense fatigue and like super fast heart rate and all this stuff. I know someone who has it, but this like it's really 4 weeks and I'm still coughing like shit. But it's a lot better now. Like I can go back to the gym now. I think like 2 weeks ago I went back. No, after 1 week of intense editing, I went back. Oh, was it like 2 weeks? I went back. I was like feeling better, and like I went back to do climbing and stuff. But like with this kind of itchy throat, like all the air feels so dry. I felt like I was getting tired more trying to hold my cough back. And like it's not, I already know like it's not contagious or anything. It's just like this itch, like this nerve ending thing. But like, wow, I was getting so tired just like from trying not to cough. It was more tiring than the climb. It's so ridiculous. Okay, I need to stop talking. I'm going to I'm gonna open live chat because yeah. Oh, like one other thing that I feel is I feel like a bit different after doing the video edit. I felt like the 4 weeks was kind of some path of self-discovery. It's really weird, but like I really don't want to spoil it too much because I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be really good, or at least I like it a lot. So I really hope that if you guys tune into this live stream and now you know that the video might be out soon, that you will look forward to it, and I really hope that you guys will have fun watching it because it was so fun making it. And I'll talk more about it when it's released on like why I feel like a different person now. But like, yeah, I'm just really thankful of that I decided to choose to like make the video edit as one of my priorities before the event, before like doing the prints and stuff for the events, because yeah, it's been like a incredible 4 weeks. And oh, Oscar, hello. Will you start for new work? No, not yet, but I'm not really sure, but I want to work on Rani for Elden Ring next on the sculpt, and that's partly because it's gonna be Rani with a bunch of other characters. There's something that I want to do, and the other thing is that let me just and the other thing is that I will be sculpting Torrent. So if you're not sure about Elden Ring, there's a horse called Torrent and a character called Rani. She's like this blue witch character, and like I haven't sculpted horses before, so there'll be something cool to do for like the next thing. And like in some sense, I kind of want it to be like half of it being something similar to the Messmer sculpt, and the other half is like something new. So like Rani, I feel, I mean, I kind of like want to like touch on this, but I feel like with the experience of doing the Messmer sculpt, that Rani might be like a little bit easier, maybe, like just a little bit. Like I know that she has a lot of hands, but like with sculpting, you can duplicate the geometries. Unlike drawing, I kind of like draw hands for shit. But yeah, so Rani will be the next thing, and I'm not really sure how it goes, but 7 to 8 December will be the day when I sell my prints, like that, like I can say for sure. And then after that, maybe I might work on Messmer a bit to like, I don't know, get it ready for 3D printing. But like, I wouldn't know until that day has passed. So, yeah. I mean, and like a lot of it is that like the reason why I spend so long on these projects is because I am so inexperienced with them. Like probably someone who is doing it in place of me will finish it in like everything in maybe 1 or 2 months. I'm not really sure. And also like in the beginning, there were so many times when it was more of like a psychological thing, like a battle with myself in my mind, rather than like the issue of not being able to do the work in some sense. So I felt like that took a lot of time. But hopefully like with Rani, now that I'm a new, like I feel like a new person, I hopefully like with her and future sculpt projects or like future projects, it will all be, hopefully like it will be all be like faster in some sense. Yeah, talk more when the video is out. But so like what I'll be doing today, like I guess I took too long to like, haven't been live streaming for a while, so I guess that's fine. But is what I'll be doing for today will be something called, similar to like plate reconstruction, if like you talk about it in kind of like VFX term, like plate. I guess it's done a lot in motion graphics and like After Effects and all that. But I'll be using DaVinci Resolve. But so right now I have this like still image like this. If I put it flat, it'd be something like that. And this is a really simplified version, but it's always it's always good, especially if you're not familiar with all these concepts. Because I mean, I have been doing plate recon and like roto and all that for a few years, so like after a lot of practice, I got good at them. Like I can confidently say that I'm really good at them. But yeah, like, and like one of the reasons why I how to say, one of the reasons why I can understand like how it works, because like in the beginning it was pretty hard for me to like grasp what like how to do it. So I just like to think of it in like very simple terms, which is you have, if this is the image, you have like, and I was working in video at that time, so it's very different from like doing a still image and like trying to split them up. And I think it's easier if I bring up the DaVinci Resolve and like I'm just gonna, so something that I learned in the 4 weeks is that each of these images, I have a depth pass rendered for it. So I did like a color, I did the color ID pass, I mean an ID pass and all that, but at the end of the day, I felt like I don't need to use them at the end of the day. So like as usual, a lot of the work that I stream kind of end up being redundant. But the point is that I have to keep moving forward, and like I wouldn't know until I've tried, right? So I found out that the depth pass is quite accurate, and I think it was quite instant because like you just need to do a checkbox of probably like a checkbox of like z depth. Or am I mistaken this for like Maya in the past? And then let your final renders render out, and then this will come out together with the renders. And because I don't save them in a single image with multiple layers, I just save them as like separate files. So what I'm using with this is so some DaVinci Resolve stuff, new Fusion clip. This way, this was like really confusing in maybe like the first 3 weeks of working with DaVinci Resolve, but like it's starting to be like a little bit more familiar with me. I think the only problem that I have right now is that I haven't really learned hotkeys or anything. I don't know what the hotkey is to do things like this, which I feel like makes me a bit slow. But I'm just gonna like learn all these things after 7 December. So this one is a Fusion clip now, and what it does is that it will how to say, it will put the two images together like this. So if you just, I don't know how much to explain, how much is like not necessary, but there are two different pages here. There's like the editing. This is the kind of like the VFX tab where you can do all your edits, kind of like special effects. This is the color grading tab, which I only found out about this in maybe the second week of editing, which was like really shitty because I haven't been doing much color correction, but when I do color correction, I was like doing it here, and it feels tough to do it here. And then one of the days I was just like, oh, what's this? Like, oh, this is where you can do colors. Like, it's so much. Why are you not? Wait. How do I bring this up? I thought like I can just click on this. Whatever. Yeah, so if you just kind of like bring one of this up, like so, there will only be one of this. And like intuitively, I would think that if I just do this, that it will be, oh my god. I guess it works. Oh my god, like 4 weeks in. This is so annoying. Wait, let me... Oh my god, this... Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Wait, so the dragon... Oh my god. I'm sorry, I need some time to like process my stupidity. Oh my god. I don't know why, but like when I was editing the past 4 weeks, when I tried to drag and drop things in here, like I thought like I couldn't see it, but maybe it's because now I know like if you click on one of this and you press 1, you'll see there's this dot right here. There's this dot right here, and it means that it will show up on like the first screen, and then 2 will show up on this. I don't think that's a 3, but if you kind of like toggle between, like I'm toggling like 2 right now, it will like turn it on and off. Oh my god. I feel like I just wasted so much time. This is so stupid. Like, what's going on? Oh, okay. I guess like something to... Maybe this is just like a way of me coping, but if I put it as a fusion clip, at least it will make the timeline a bit cleaner. Where is... Oh, never mind. It'll make the timeline a bit cleaner because at least I know like, oh, this is where like those 2 images are in right now, like this group. And then when I hover over this on the timeline, and it has to be, I think like it has to be the one on top if you want to just like swap like that. Like this. Or alternatively, you can right click and open a fusion page, which like, I kind of feel like there needs to be a shortcut for this. It feels like every single thing that I'm using doesn't have a shortcut. And like, I don't know whether it's just because like I'm such a editing noob or something, that everyone else is using something else that I'm not aware of. So when you go over to the fusion page, it will show up like that. Well, this page was incredibly hard for me to learn in the first 2 weeks. Like I was like pulling my hair out. Like it was probably like 1 week's worth of time wasted. It's just figuring how to use DaVinci Resolve. It's so annoying. But so like this like blue arrow right here is where the alpha would be. And back when I was using Nuke for compositing, it will be more of like kind of like just imagine this is saying mask for mask, and the mask will be like plugged in here, and then it will this image will have essentially what that does is to copy the alpha, which is usually a black and white. Why are you not? Oh, right. You know what, let me just delete this because I kind of messed it up a bit. So like, just shift spacebar to open up like this menu right here, which I don't know why it keeps appearing on my second monitor. Like it never shows up. See, it's like showing up on the other side again. It's quite annoying sometimes. So what it will do is to, if this is the alpha like this, and this is the image, and this is the image, then it will copy the alpha and apply it to this, and then you can pre-mount, like there's a node called pre-mount, which will turn this image to this image, like right here after the pre-mount. And I felt like that makes more sense to me, because like it feels cleaner. Like I'll know like, oh, this is where the alpha is. And the good thing about that is that you can do a lot of adjustments and all that, and it will be, yeah, it will be kind of like separate from the main thing. Whereas like right now, if I do a paint, and it might just be that because I'm really not sure how to use this. Why is it not working? So imagine like I'm painting like this. I don't really know why it's not working. Why is it not working? Am I doing something wrong? Yeah, so like imagine I'm painting it. I don't know how to disable the alpha channel for this. So like this is how it looks like before, and if I need to do any paint fixes, which is usually after this, like after this, it would be better if I can use like a mask or like a copy alpha node, so that the alpha comes in after the painting. But right now, like with this, the alpha for the paint is showing through. It's yeah, maybe I just haven't find the right tutorial for it, but it's also a little bit hard to find tutorials on rotoscope and paint. Like right now, all the knowledge that I'm applying to my edit is based on my years of experience being a VFX artist, or else like I would have zero clue on like how to do all this stuff. So the work experience really helped a lot. And just going to revert this back. Do you see how slow I am with the nodes? Okay. So the idea is that I'm going to create this, and you know what? Maybe I can do like a quick one. I mean, if I can't get anything done today, if I can't get anything done today, then I can just stream another day. Cause like I just want to be nice to myself and not really expect too much. So I have this. Why is it applying to everything? Oh, right. So if you copy and paste Fusion clips, I didn't know before, but all these are unique to each other. So what I like, yeah, the confusing thing is that this is still called Fusion Clip 4, but I learned from somewhere that this is still, this is different from this. So you can make any adjustments you want over here, and it doesn't apply to this. So what I'm going to do is to create my layers. And this is like from a tutorial too, I think. I don't remember if was it like this? I'm just going to Oscar. I try to follow. Well, thanks for... I don't know whether you like what you meant by the broadcast is like my broadcast, but I'm just gonna take it that you're saying that's mine. And thank you for tuning in. Yeah. It's really nice to be around people who are interested in the things that I'm interested in and such. So it feels so cramped here. And creating the middle ground. So mid-ground, foreground, which is this is like a more complicated version of this, where like now maybe you can start to see what I mean by like the different layers like this, and trying to split them out like this. So with the depth pass, it's really easy to do like a very quick, because I mean for the edit, it's not going to be perfect, or it's not going to be, yeah, it's not going to be like kind of like 4K HD perfection or something. I just want to make it work so that it looks good. As long as it looks good, it's fine. So with that in mind, this is really like, this is like perfect for what I need. The only thing would be, which I guess it's just easier to demonstrate it to you. So let's say I want to do a zoom in. So I'm going to keyframe all these right now. And then this is, I just need to make sure that I separate them. I wonder whether this particular one, so like for this one, I need 3 different layers. But for this one, maybe I just need 2. I don't know. Let's just try it. Because it's gonna be really fast anyway. It's really not like the main. I mean, it's kind of like the main part of the edit, but am I like spoiling too much right now? Okay, so I've keyframed these 2 just so that's easier for me to. I think something annoying is that I can't remove keyframes if it's like out of the like if it's out of this. So let me just check that they're aligned. And then this is 1. Maybe if I'm trying to do parallax, then foreground will kind of stay. You know what, let's just try with the background first. This is just a test. Maybe this is too much. Can you like that? Okay, so maybe the foreground can move to just less. So I hope like it's starting to be a little bit clear on like what I'm trying to do. And this too little. You know what, I feel like I can't get it done by but maybe today's stream is like a tutorial on how to do parallax. Something that you can do is to press X on the clip and then loop it. So So like this is good enough for me. And of course, like off stream, I'm going to do kind of like something that is just a little bit hard to see everything from over this tripod. Let me just see if I can. Like one of the things that I tried to consider is whether or not I wanted to do this in Blender, but I think there are like too many unknowns for me, and like I was getting really frustrated with just like I just can't process too much information at one go. And like the video editing is already a lot of info to take in, and I feel like I did kind of like try to cram as much as I can about DaVinci Resolve in my head for the past 1 month. So like when I open up Blender and like I try to separate the layers and all that, I was like, how do I separate the fog and all this stuff? Because the fog volume in this shot, I mean in all the shots, affects the renders a lot. Like I'm just thinking that maybe it's just at kind of like the edge of my head where the solution is. Is it? But the thing is that I kind of have to make decisions based on the deadlines and all that, and kind of like what I know for now. And like after doing the test, I was like, you know, it's perfectly good enough because there's gonna be stuff overlaid on this anyway. So it's like perfectly good for what I need. Like yeah, it's good enough. So yeah, so I did consider that. It's just I'm kind of like having information overload right now, so I'm kind of defaulting to what I'm familiar with for this case, which is my years of experience as a VFX artist doing plate recon, rotoscoping and all that to finish this, because this is really not a lot to do, and I feel like I can kind of like spend 5 days to perfect this, but then like I'm just going to do as much as I can till the point where like nothing sticks out, and hopefully I can finish this in like 1 or 2 days for the shots that I'm doing. I think it's very good. Like if I shift Alt X, is it Alt X? And then like if you compare, this is before, You know what, I don't know whether it's visible, but I'll do it off stream on like the final, kind of like the final animation adjustment thing. I just wanted to show you like what this is, which so if you look at the last frame where like the images are all synced. So the idea of parallax is that the foreground, when you have a video of, let's say, a person, and let's say there's a tree at the background, and maybe there is, oh my god, an abomination in the middle ground, then when you rotate the camera, so imagine this is the camera and then it's showing like that. If you rotate the camera, so let's say the camera goes to this right now. I mean, don't take my word for it, because I'm not a teacher or anything. But if you, let's say if you rotate the camera, and like this is really quite off, the things in the foreground will, is it the things in the things in the foreground will move at a different like speed as the things in the midground and the background. Maybe it's easier if I do like that. Imagine this is like the top view. But then I realized that I know shit about this, about to explain all these stuff. But just know that parallax is when the objects in the back move at a different speed as the midground and the background. And that's how I'm trying to like fake like a 2D parallax, which I'm sure like it's being used a lot in motion graphics and all that. So this, look at this area here. It feels like this is the original and this is the new one. So like because of the shifts, it feels like the image is a bit more in a 3D space. But now the issue is when you have these kind of things with a still image, that when the parallax, or like when the transform gets bigger and bigger, you can start seeing the foreground being duplicated like this. Like, do you see this ghosting effect from, I think if you, and that's because these foreground elements are also in the background stuff. That's why it goes from this to like that. So the aim for the paint is to, and like I've done zero prep for this live stream as usual, but like if I prep too much I wouldn't do anything as usual, so I'm just gonna think of it on the fly. But like, because you're faking the parallax, thing, wait, I'm not even showing my screen, because it's like a fake parallax. You have to create the things behind, which is called like what plate reconstruction is about. But like if you split the images up, if you try to split this up into different layers, it will look like this. And like it can get really complex depending on the scene. And then that's when like you really have to start thinking about how you want to layer the things out. Because the more you split up to the like one of the shows that I worked on, although I'm not really sure whether I was good at plate reconstruction during that time yet, but it was similar to, because like we work on blockbusters movie, so it was very similar to Transformers, where like there's a lot of shit happening. Like Transformers looked really good now. And like it's crazy how Transformers CGI looks so good now, because like so many of the practical effects are there. But anyway, that's off topic. But like there's so many things going on in the shot, like explosions here, explosions there, car coming in, like crashing in, the debris like flying everywhere. So it becomes a point where like if you have a deadline, like let's say you have to work on doing the plate reconstruction to remove the green man inside in the middle of that shot in like maybe 1 week, that sometimes it's not worth it to split things up based on what you need. So like to just make it clearer, let's say the still image looks like this. When you try to split it up, the circle will appear in this triangle here, and it will appear here. And when you start doing the parallax, you'll see this circle popping up, because when you try to do the parallax, things will start shifting in different ways. So like that. So like you will start seeing this as the circle moves away from its original position. And so like what I'll be doing for this shot is to what am I doing? Just on this soft brush. No! Oh, I hate it when this happens. No man, I'll just brush it. So it's to kind of like imagine like what the back looks like, and create this, and then same for this, so that when the parallax is happening, let's say this is moving to the left and this is moving to the right, what used to be a circle over here would just be an extension of this triangle. And this is like, it's a lot easier to try and think of the basic concepts with very simplified stuff, because like sometimes when you work on a shot, like maybe it'll be a scene in London and you have like all these like crazy like houses and all that, and let's say if you have to plate recon something over here, then like it can become really overwhelming to do a plate reconstruction for something like this. So like it's always good to try and break them down and think of it in simpler ways. Like if the shot is in a room, let's say there's a sofa here. No, let's say it's like kind of like this, and then there's a sofa here. Oh my god, I've been video editing too much. It's like the more I do sculpting, the more I do video editing, the less I'm drawing, and the more shit it becomes. and then maybe there's like a plant here. And let's say if you want to, or like maybe there's like a bean bag here. Let's say if you want to remove the bean bag, then you need to start thinking of this as like a I guess like talking about all these made me reminisce about working in the past, that I kind of just feel like talking. Or maybe I'm just procrastinating as usual. Like I don't want to do the work, so I'm just like talking about all these things. But yeah, so like you have to kind of, and let's say if this wall has like a wallpaper with intensely detailed stuff, what, like you have to imagine like what is behind this part. And then let's say there is a person here, you have to think about what is behind here. And then let's say there is a carpet here, you have to think about like how does the carpet end here. And like it can get really overwhelming unless you try to break it down, which is this is kind of like a square. Another one. This person will most likely be in front of this kitchen counter in the background. And then there's another square here. And then this plant is kind of like a card. But then you have to, sometimes when like the rotation or like the zoom of the camera is a bit intense, then you need to start breaking down the plant. Because like let's say if this is in the scene, you have to start breaking down like, oh, this cloth is in the background, and then this is in the foreground. So like all these things, depending on how complex the scene is, you have to break like the leaves and branches down. The pot is like at a different distance and all that. But like you don't think about those kind of things until, you shouldn't be thinking about those kind of things until like you've done the basic areas, which is this wall, this area here, this wall, the floor here. And then once you're done with that, then you start going in and be like, okay, this leaf is kind of like doing a parallax effect compared to maybe like this leaf over here. Like these two are moving at a different speed. And then that's when you start like going in and like adjust it. But like just breaking all these things down to something like this is it's just helpful to keep organized, and also like not get overwhelmed with all the different parts. And I think I'm done with procrastinating. So which one was I doing? I guess I'll do the snake first. Oh, and like I guess I haven't shown the renders, so this is how the renders look like. Yay! Isn't it so pretty? So something that we'll be doing at work would be to do let me lock the original, just because like you never know when you might put like a random paint dot somewhere. So one of the things that we would do is to kind of like remove all these, kind of like artifacting. I feel like they're probably artifacts, but I'm not really sure. Like I'm not sure how much of it is like a kind of like a super incredible highlight from a light source. But I think it's because my mesh is really not optimal for rendering. which doesn't really matter because I'm not rendering a sequence where, like, if I render, let's say, 300 frames, these things will flicker like crazy. In those 300 frames, like, they will jump about. But because this is just still image, like, I really don't give a shit about all these. Yeah, let me just see how it looks like. But like, these will be things that I'll be doing after the video is up, because I don't mind if the video contains like the original renders without any edits. And like, sometimes doing this is like a mindless job of just like, oh, like that, and then just remove it. It becomes more complex when there is a video involved, a sequence involved, because I just treat this as like, once you remove a lot of the dots, all these will start standing out. So maybe I'll just remove it. It really makes me reminisce about my old shop. Because in a sequence, you have to think about whether or not the paint that you make here will be the same as the next frame. But because this is just a still image, I don't really have to care about like continuity and all that stuff. Yeah, so you can see. Then this is like the satisfying part when like you just toggle on and off before and after. It's super satisfying. Like, it's just like bam, like it's gone. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I might put this in the final edit. Or maybe not. I'm not really sure yet. Like, in some sense, specs, they don't really look like defective specs. Like, they kind of look cute on his cape. So I'll just let the kind of like the dot sit in my head as I work on the other stuff. So the reason why I bring up this resolve, this thing, is because I, like, in some way I kind of know what's in the background, what's not. But it's always helpful to kind of like use the moving image to cross-check with your work, because like something like this, where this thing is obviously in the foreground. Like when I'm looking at the edit, it doesn't really look like I need to do anything to this. Like it moves a bit, but like depending on, yeah, it just depends. Like this is worse. So having this kind of thing really helps, I guess. So I don't really have to, when like doing plate reconstruction, usually you have to, what should I use? Haven't been painting in a while. Clone. I don't know how well clone is going to work, but maybe I'll use this. But like, because this is a perfect Blender setup, I don't need to care about fixing the edges of this. But like when it comes to real film footage and all that, sometimes let's say if there is a car in the background with super bright headlights, let's say for example, or there's a really bright light source behind, that light is going to leak onto this edge, and when you do this, you can see like, oh, there's like this random bright patch over here. Or like let's say if the color is more saturated, it can bleed over and then it will look weird. If let's say your task is to remove a really bright green guy in the background, like the green is going to bleed onto this. So the way to deal with that is, oh my god, so bright. I'm so sorry. The way to deal with that is to kind of like, why is it not? Why is it not painting? The way to deal with that, and it's so bright. Yeah, I think that's better. Is to extend maybe I should use this. Is to extend the edge out, and then when you apply the alpha to cut it, it will, like the shape will be made by the alpha channel, but then you fix like whatever shit is going on the edges. But then because this is a perfect 3D render, I don't need to do that for the foreground, I think. The thing that I'll need to fix would be, let me see. The thing that I need to fix would be stuff in the foreground. Like something like this. So maybe I'll work on the background layer first. Oh, I'm finally doing my work. And one of the things that is really helpful to have a denoise image, because if let's say you have green, like in some sense talking about all these things are just like for me to refresh myself on like how I was doing the work last time, because after quitting my job I was drawing most of the time, and then this year I've been sculpting all the time. So like I start to forget in some sense. So let's say like a noise is like this. Imagine this is film grain or like the camera grain. That's it. Or is it just... Imagine it's like this. Like it becomes really hard to... Oh my god, I just... No! I'm so sorry. Okay, well I just... You know what, let me just redo this. An easy way to make grain is to do like 50%. Do cover a new layer. Add noise. You can make it strong because you can overlay it later. And then chromatic aberration, I guess. But in I think Krita I tried to do noise, and like by default it already has all these colors, so this is just an extra step I think for Procreate. And then set this to overlay and just put a really tiny bit like that. It will help to like finalize the shot. But so when you paint like this, let's say if I eyedrop this color, you see like how it keeps jumping around between like red, green tones, blue tones. So it makes like, let's say if I do this and I paint over here, I feel like this brush is too big. You know what? And I paint this, and then I select a different color. You see like it starts becoming really different. So it's... Oh, I see why I'm not. So it's best to work on a denoise image. Then it becomes clearer like what the color is supposed to be, like this. Like from left to right, the brown is quite consistent. So that's something to take note of. And it becomes easier to paint stuff in, because let's say the background is quite blank. I can just simply take the color here and then I think something that I miss from Nomad Sculpt is the Because in Nomad Sculpt, I use this key. When I hold it down, I can slide. I can like hold and slide the size of the brush. But Procreate, I think you can only like go up like that or like go down, which kind of sucks, but I just gotta do. I think Nomad Sculpt really spoiled me. I used to not complain about this kind of stuff. I feel so spoiled. Like Nomad Sculpt is too good. So it's really just about like try not to change too much. You just want to do as much as you can to cover the areas that I think if I'm using the in-house software for doing paint, I would prefer it to clone and brush, but I feel like on Procreate it's just a lot easier to for like at least the flat areas, I think. You're not sure, I might just like I don't like this brush. I feel like starting to go into the territory of like being too perfectionist again. Maybe I'll just try it. Oh, it's because like I can't do a separate layer for the clone. I think in the software that I can use is that wait, was it? Oh wait, no, it can't. It can't split the layers up. Okay, let me just try this then. I think the other thing is like it's so hidden over here. It's about time for me to go. I keep sliding for some reason. Like, do you see like it's sliding to the left as I... Or is it just... Yeah, I feel like just doing a brush is a lot faster. I haven't been painting in a really long time, so I kind of expected that I'll take some time to do this. Like, just right now I'm just like getting used to choosing like what brush I'm using, which is I think it's like one of the default brushes. I just put it in a group, and then just getting the feel of eyedropping and coloring like this, like that. Try not to make this patchy, try to make it smooth. So maybe I'll use like a no, maybe I'll just use like a default soft brush to like blend this area up. Like that. I think the other downside is that because this keyboard, I think it's called Iokite or something, it's already the key bindings are already you can't change the key binding for this. But like the good thing with Nomad Sculpt is that you can customize your key binds and all that. So I could bind like the different like brushes from Nomad Sculpt onto the keypad. Can do like, this is for toggling the visibility of the objects in the outliner. So it's really versatile. But with Procreate, like I want a keypad with the smudge tool, and I can't, which sucks. But like I guess everything has to be simplified because we are all too, yeah, I'm not really sure like how much of it is they feel like they're too stupid or something, that they want to simplify everything because they're like, oh, like you don't need to use this and this and this. But like everyone works so differently. Like my boyfriend works completely differently from me when we do our art. That like, no, I think that's what I like about Nomad Sculpt, because it's so versatile that like it can accommodate to like what you want personally for yourself. Because like the way someone else is going to work and make to do their art is going to be so different from how I do it personally. So this is kind of like in the territory of like, you kind of have to start guessing what is behind here. And like, because I sculpted this, so in some sense I kind of have a gauge of what this might be. So there's like this spike here because the flame spikes up like that. I mean, I'm not really sure whether I want to put it in, because I really don't like, I don't like how this can't be like a solid integer, or like 2.1, 2.2, or like maybe the way that I'm working is wrong, that like I shouldn't care about, like let's say if I slide this and I go here to like 6%, like to me I want to know, like is it 6.1 or is it 6.5? Because it, like the difference between the 6 over here to like the 6 below the 7, and I don't know whether you can see it, it's like so bright, like the difference in size is so big. This is like 6, this is probably 6.1, this is 6.9 in terms of like the brush size. And like sometimes I just want to, like in some sense, like if you see the number like 6.1, 6.2 and like that, or like in Photoshop it's like 1 to 100 or something, that like subconsciously you would kind of know like, oh, I usually work with like brush size 5 or something. But I mean, I try not to. Procreate is a good app, and I really like working with the, I really like painting on my iPad, which is like the last time I did a live stream was on doing critters, like learning how to use critter and that kind of stuff. But I realized that I just really like the feeling of like seeing, like being able to adjust my canvas, being able to just paint over like a Cintiq, because I don't have a Cintiq. And like the feeling of painting on Procreate is pretty good. I'm just not really that good at painting yet, because I haven't I haven't spent the time to learn it. So like sometimes it's a bit hard to paint things like that, so I'll just like kind of blocked in the colors. This is how I usually do plate reconstruction, like that. And like another reason why I'm working a bit slow today is because I'm like trying to get the information kind of like at the back of my mind of how I used to do all these stuff. I think that's one of the issues I have right now, where like let's say if I spend 4 weeks on video editing, then I start to forget how to do everything else. I mean, not really forget, but like there'll be another slow ramp up to like coming back to sculpting, let's say. So like, which like can't be helped right now because I have a deadline to hit, but I think in the future, maybe like especially for the runny sculpt, and also like I want to finish up my first sculpt project, which I haven't done anything. So many things to do. But like now that I'm more familiar with the different things, like now I've tried like video editing, sculpting, drawing and all that. Like I think the smarter thing to do is to like make sure that I do a little bit of everything in the week instead of trying to rush everything at like to rush out like chunks of, let's say, like sculpting for like the whole of like 4 weeks and all that. It's just I'm not really sure how to do that yet because I'm just not that good at doing that kind of stuff. So it's nice to like work on the edges first like this. To like work on the edges first, and then the inside is like brainless in some sense, unless there's a lot of texture or whatnot. But the good thing is that the texture is just on the foreground. It's not on the background because of the defocus. Because like once texture is involved, the work becomes exponentially harder to do. Like sometimes the harder work is also when the film shot is like defocused and then it starts going into focus and you're like what the hell does it look like when, and like the object will be covered. So let's say if this duck is like defocused in like frame 1, and then as I need a second actor, as the camera becomes more and more focused on the duck. So imagine right now the duck is like super defocused, and then as the duck gets more and more focused, the rabbit walks away. Oh wait, no. So like when it's in focus, the rabbit is away, and then as the duck becomes more defocused, the rabbit comes in, and now like the duck is in like complete focus, but then this rabbit is like oh, I'm blocking your reference, and then like the director will be like, oh, you need to remove the rabbit because the rabbit is not supposed to be in the shot. And then you remove the rabbit and you're like, what the hell is this supposed to be? Because in the whole shot, when this is in defocus, like it is showing But then yeah, you get what I mean. And then so like the challenge for that is to think about what this looks like before like it got kind of like destroyed from the defocus. But of course, like with film, usually film is like, or like TV series is you have other shots to reference from. So maybe in like the next shot, the duck is like talking and this is in focus. So you can take like this reference from shot B and bring it back to shot A and then do the plate reconstruction that way. And I think I need to go soon. I'm quite glad that I decided to do this now. And I'm really sorry for procrastinating as usual. I think like my brain is a little bit busted from just working non-stop for like 4 weeks. And also working on something that I'm really not used to. Like right now I'm a little bit on autopilot mode because I've been kind of like doing this for like my work for so many years that, I mean, that's also why I can kind of like go on and on about stuff as I'm doing this, because I'm so used to doing this. I mean, I kind of forgotten that I'm quite used to doing this. But then now that I'm painting again, I'm like, oh, like I feel like my kind of like reflex, I guess, is like kicking in. It's been so long since I've done things like this. Like it's always nice to go back to something that I'm familiar with. Kind of feels more, it feels comforting to, oh, it's pressing the wrong button. Like it feels quite comforting to like come back to something that I'm familiar with, because I really don't want to deal with audio. I don't want to deal with audio. But I have to deal with it, or else I can't upload the video. It sucks. And I feel like I'm doing too much too. Maybe because I'm going on like some autopilot mode. But I don't need to paint this. I just realized I've no need to paint this area here because it doesn't show up anyway. Like only this needs to be painted out. And in the next stream I will put this into the DaVinci Resolve layers, and then you can see like what I mean, like what I am doing right now, if it's still a bit unclear of like what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I'm gonna go. So it was nice to come back again and to just kind of like de-stress and like take my mind off the edit, like finally. I feel like even the whole of yesterday, because I was trying to figure something out with the edit, so I uploaded like 2 versions of the edit, and while I was gymming yesterday, I was just like watching the video over and over again, which might be a good thing because like I've watched my video for like maybe like 100 times by now, that like I kind of have the, it might be a bit dodgy, but I kind of have like the confidence that the edit is good because I'm still like not bored of my edit. Like I'm still watching it even after watching it for like hundreds of times. But like it also means that my brain hasn't been off DaVinci Resolve this whole time. And I feel like now that all the footage is done and the thing that I was worrying about is done. It's so hard to talk about it when I'm trying to keep it a secret because of all those things. Like, yeah, like I felt kind of like relief that I can like take a few hours off it. And like, I'm not sure whether I will stream this again, but most likely I'll be continuing with the fixes that I need to do for the edit. And then maybe tomorrow I'll be streaming doing this work, like more of this work, and hopefully it'll be a lot faster, a lot less talking and like a lot more doing. And yeah, I really have to go. So thank you for thank you for dropping by, Oscar, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yes, I kind of want to live stream a few days on and off before I drop the video, just to like if anyone any of like my regular any of my regular viewers have like don't have the chance to drop by my live stream today or like the next day, that I'll get to catch up in the day after or something. And yeah, I really have to go right now. So I really hate this coughing thing.